Okay, that's weird.
Deep inside a secret underground bunker. We're speaking to freedom-loving patriots from all around the country and the world. Welcome to the Resistance. This is John Crump.
Yeah, that was my soundboard that was having a lot of issues. Today we have someone special if he shows up, which I hope he does because he's been asking to come on the show. And yeah, I don't know where the hell our guest is, but we'll work through that. Before we get Rich on, I'm gonna guys. Actually, I'll bring Rich on to show you guys this. But I do want to do a little bit of housekeeping here. Housekeeping. All right. So 2 years ago today, I'm gonna bring us down a little bit. Just bear with me. Sorry. 2 years ago today, we lost someone very, very special to me. My niece Bella passed away 2 years ago today. You might know there's something called Bella's Wish, which we are starting, and we will be doing a toy drive, supply drive for the Ronald McDonald House, which made a big difference in my niece's family's life. So that will be coming out shortly. Just yeah, it was a tough time. Bella. If you guys don't know who Bella was, go look at some previous episodes of Bella. She was a sweet little girl who used to always come on the podcast because she loves podcasting and she used to make fun of me heavily, like really, really heavily. Like the last time I talked to her, she was unconscious, laying there in bed, and I was going back to Virginia because I was going back and forth to New York, and I was going back to Virginia for a couple days. Uh, and so I said, "Bye, Bella. Your favorite uncle is going back to Virginia for a couple days. I'll see you next weekend," or something like that. I can't remember exactly what I said. And she's unconscious laying there, and she goes, "You're not my favorite uncle." And she got this like little smile on her face. But she was a very, very sweet girl. So once a year, I mention her, and we do this like toy drive thing, which is coming up. More to come about that, but I just wanted to mention that, and just to say that you guys made a huge difference in her life. Uh, we, she was on the show, and she was on her mom's phone, and she's like, "Oh, I dropped milk on my laptop, so I couldn't get on because my computer's destroyed because I dropped milk on it, and it shorted it out." And within, I would say 5-10 minutes, people super chatted me enough money to buy her a new laptop, which was really, really sweet. We have Swamp Dog who did an awesome thing by building a war rifle and auctioning it off to help with their expensive because all that stuff is very, very expensive. You don't know, she had something called DIPG, which is an aggressive form of childhood brain cancer. And that's what took her. And hopefully one day we will be able to solve this cancer stuff because it's taking my stepdad, it's taking my dad, it's taking Bella, and it's taking someone very, very close to all of us here as well. So we got to get rid of this cancer crap. But cancer isn't one disease, it's like a category of diseases. So it's really hard. But I believe that with CRISPR and some of the other technologies, we will be able to beat that. All right, I'm not going to bring us down any more than that. So let me go on and bring on Rich. Rich, you don't have to say I'm sorry for your loss or anything like that because that's goofy as shit. All right, Rich, how you doing?
Okay. Wow, I didn't realize it was 2 years. That's
Yeah, 2 years ago today. That's why I didn't do a video or anything else today.
gotcha.
We're gonna eat tacos tonight because her favorite food was tacos. So. In honor of
Oh,
her,
that's
we're gonna eat
fantastic.
tacos. Yeah, okay. So, how are you doing, my friend?
Good, good. I was milling. I milled 4 AR-15 lowers on a Ghost Gunner. So
Was it
I
Ghost Gunner 3?
Ghost Gunner 3. I
Dude, it
confiscated
went
it from
so much
Hank
faster.
Strange. Oh gosh, it's stupid fast. Stupid. All right. So I had problems. The problems weren't the Ghost Gunner. My Mac that I had hooked up to it kept sleeping. So you got to turn the sleep functions off. I didn't turn them all off. It still slept. So I had to restart the process. Everything came out fine. Wasn't an issue. But that for I don't know if other computers have the same issue, but unfortunately, as computers get more user friendly, they get more obfuscated. So it's not like sleep functions, and you see all three, and it's like off, 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 off. It's just not that simple, unfortunately. They bury that crap.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so yeah, I milled the tusk lower. Alex, let's see, what was Alex's company? It was Alex Precision Machine, APM. That's it.
Yeah.
So we've had him on the show. He CNC milled a lower, an 80% lower, and it wasn't cheap. I did buy it with Tusk, so I was really careful about milling that one out. But yeah, stupid fast, 30 minutes, and then you change the orientation, and with the same 1/4 inch end mill, it mills out the selector switch, and then you swap that bit out for the 5/32 drill bit, if I recall correctly, and then it drills the trigger pin and the hammer pin.
Nice.
So yeah, I didn't even break the edges. The edges were nice also. You know how when you do some machining, a lot of times the edges are razor sharp. So it's like, I'm just like, oh, I got the tool for that, and I didn't even have to do that.
That is very, very nice.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So did you have to use tape or anything like that?
Tape? Well, I didn't assemble the lowers, if that's what. Oh, or wait, are you asking for?
Because it wasn't, because they're anodized, right?
Okay, so the Ghost Gunner 3 seems to be more sensitive electrically. I didn't in the past. So the wire for the probing, so the bit goes in and probes, so it knows where in 3D space the lower is. It used to be that you had to like scrape off some of the anodizing around where the screw goes in for the grip, but I didn't have to do any of that. Now I did run into a problem with the Tusk lower. So Alex's design has a trigger guard on it, and the trigger guard hit the base, so I had to put electrical tape around that so it didn't ground out against the base. So I was getting a probing error when I started. So that was the only thing about that.
I gotcha. That's really cool.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know. I've had these lowers kicking around for a while, and I've wanted to put them together. So Patrick Babyface P sent me the bits, which I haven't sent back to him. I got to send it back. And in other news, Patrick lost his channel, got his channel back, lost his channel, got his channel back.
Yeah, I saw that. That's freaking crazy.
It's rabbit season.
Yeah, that is freaking crazy, isn't it?
So all right. So here's two things. So John and I both work in the tech field, and before you drop something, you can have a hard launch, a soft launch, but you beta test. You test how things work. Now, if this is an AI,
that's not the way we do it, man. You just launch AI type of stuff without it testing.
Yeah, no, never. So what I thought about today is, so I think we all have to be careful in how we consider, think, and do things, because I project my morals, thoughts, and feelings on other people. I'm like, why would they do that? I wouldn't do that. Or and I expect everybody to be like me as far as, my sense of morality. And that's not the case. So this morning I'm like, well, wait a second. If I developed an AI to determine content is good for the platform, eligible for monetization, and so there's a couple of levels that content has to pass through before it's, green lighted for monetization and good for the platform, etc. So the AI has to check for that. Wouldn't you run an AI across a wide sample to see how it works before you let it loose on a live production system? Well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, these are like YouTube, Google, they have the best and the brightest people working for them. Of course they would do that. Do you think they're intentionally effing with us this way?
No, I just think
because both can't be true.
You worked in tech, but you've never worked in Silicon Valley.
No, that's correct.
Yeah, things run a little bit differently with a Silicon Valley company than it does anywhere else in the world.
So you're saying they just kick crap out the door?
A lot of times, yeah.
Whoa! That's nuts. See, I've more corporate America tech, where not that Silicon Valley tech. It's not like you don't deal in hard commodity products that if you screw something up, there's a tangible loss. It's all, John and I've talked about mistakes at Facebook where what was the recent mistake? They lost a couple $2 billion in one day.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
And they won't even fire the person.
Well, the whole thing is the whole strategy in Silicon Valley is move fast and break stuff. That's actually that's actually.
I get it. I get it. There's other theories. I forget if it's David D'Angelo. I got to look it up because I keep quoting him and I don't give the proper attribution. But he says fail early and fail often, which is a great mantra. People might be like, fail. Yes, if you get to a failure quickly and then change tactics, you're going to get to the right solution faster. It's worse if you keep going in the failing direction and don't change. Fail early, fail often, and get to the right solution. Just like Pfizer. I don't know if that was the reference there, but sorry, I haven't. Have you played with ChatGPT and Dan? I haven't. I know of Dan. I haven't been able to. Dan is no longer held down by tyrants. Really?
Yeah.
So I haven't played with Dan. So yeah, one car fast. I was just earlier talking about Ghost Gunner 3 stuff. I milled 4 lowers this weekend, and actually I met a company at SHOT Show, and they had a nice trigger and reasonably priced. So I was hoping to get triggers from them. So to build out my lowers. Well, there's a couple of companies I haven't pushed. So with the whole YouTube like beating the gun guys down, I haven't posted a lot of videos on this channel. If you're watching on Flying Rich channel, I started a Flying Rich Firearms channel, which I broke 300 subs today. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm almost to 1,000 watch hours and, a third of the way to 1,000 subs. So hopefully that channel gets monetized. And I'm going to push, firearm content only over on Flying Rich Firearms. So that's my strategy with the whole new YouTube beating us down kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. F it, man. I got a couple different things. I just wanted to show you something. I got this from Goonbeam. I got a bunch of flashlights. I'm not going to show you all the flashlights today, just this one. Check this out. This is Goonbeam.
I think Goonbeam's a Florida company, and I've talked to the guy. Good dude. I got to order something from him because I've been saying that for a month.
Check this out. This is their weapons light. It is very, very bright. comes with that charger for the battery. Pressure switch, which is pretty cool. Put it on there, pressure switch. Some stuff to hold it down. I'm going to be using these clips right there. Also,
gotta move a little slower, Crumpy. We're not getting a good view.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Do this. The Goon Beam right here. This is their weapons light. This is going to go on one of my rifles. How's that? Comes with the charger for the battery. So no more throwing away batteries. You have a rechargeable battery. It has a pressure switch right there.
So that screws on the back of the light?
Yeah, to put on a rifle. And it has like the little clips to hold the pressure switch down.
Nice.
There. And I'm going to Magpul release a product that it will route. It helps you cable manage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about getting that. And doing the cable management on the stuff like that. I'm just thinking what it's called, and I know they debuted it at SHOT Show, so I'm not sure if it's even on their website yet.
What's Polar Knight saying? A green gun saving the environment? I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Not really sure either, but yeah, I'm thinking it's not on there. Yeah, doesn't look like it's on there, but they have something coming out that's going to help you route wires.
Cool. So Ting Ting, I dropped my new channel in the chat. So if you guys sub, that's always greatly appreciated. Oh, green, meaning no more batteries wasted. Whoop. I have not been flying this weekend. No F-16s or F-22s. I did not shoot down any UFOs, but I have piloted. I didn't want to say piloted. See, now I screwed it up. I've actually been in a UFO.
Okay.
Then I identified myself to air traffic control, and everything was cool.
That's not really funny, but okay. Oh, rich.
Well, people people immediately hear UFO and they're like extraterrestrial. It's like, yeah, whatever.
All right. So, I put an EOTech on my AUG, and then I suppressed.
You got the Stormtrooper AUG?
Yeah. Did you see my short today?
No.
Oh, yeah. So
I missed a John Crump short.
Yeah. So I got the EOTech on there, and I put a suppressor on there, OSS suppressor.
I don't have a notification for it.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Surprise.
Huh.
It's on. Yeah. It's.
So I want to answer Benjamin. So Benjamin, I was playing with Midjourney, and Midjourney. Do you have a Midjourney account, John?
Rich. Who told you about Midjourney?
You.
Who told you?
Do you have a paid account?
Not a paid account, no.
Okay, all right. Because I ran out of my free. I have to subscribe. So
cool, right?
Yeah. So it's cool AF. So Benjamin is asking, is that gun from Halo? That's on my channel. So on Flying Rich Firearms. No, I put in text in Midjourney. Let's see. I don't know if I have a copy of the text, but I did I threw in like Steyr AUG.
Why don't you tell people what Midjourney is?
Oh yeah. Hey, that'd be important, huh? So Midjourney runs on what is the stupid chat called? I forget what it is all the time.
Discord.
Discord. So Midjourney is an AI that runs on Discord, and it will generate an image from text that you input. So my input text, let me see if I can find it. It was something about, yeah, I'm not finding it right quick here. Steyr AUG, YF22, modern firearm, logo, shield, crest, whatever. And boom, it generated these crazy cool images. And what it does, so what Midjourney does is it gives you 4 images, like thumbnails, and you could say, like, regenerate, I didn't like any of them, or you could say, hey, enhance this one, give me like a high resolution version of this one, or give me different variations of 1, 2, 3, or 4, or all of them. And it'll go through and it'll iterate through it and give you different versions.
Yeah. So this whole thing up here is generated by Midjourney.
Yeah. The image in the center is generated by Midjourney.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I just I picked Fire out of what is it? What's the other stupid software I use? Canva. So all the thumbnails I create with Canva, and sometimes Canva is useful for other things. So Canva is actually a really good tool, and it's like $12 a month. So stupid cheap. The Midjourney is stupid cool. People, if you just go to the Discord for Midjourney, you can see the images people are generating, and it's pretty freaking amazing. Now there's other helper sites that will help you generate. They call it a prompt for Midjourney to generate the images. Yeah, Halo stole that from Rich. Cool. Yeah, so everybody, thank you for subbing my new channel. Just the way channel analytics run, to get that channel monetized, I have to get 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch hours. So I have a video kind of going viral on that channel right now. So I was advised that Foldy AR that I shot like 4 years ago was on this channel, on my current channel. But with YouTube going sideways on us for gun stuff, I pulled all the gun content down off my regular channel. So I posted it back up with the same title description on my new channel, and I have like over 65,000 views. I got like 11,000 views on it yesterday. And so basically, if you put new content on your site, YouTube will try to push your new content. So I don't want to spoil that, spoil the video that's generating a lot of views right now by putting new content out. So, and we have a guest.
No, we do. All right.
Want to bring him in?
Hey, Benjamin, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. God bless you. What a day! What a day! What a day! We are live, and we are running, man. Running.
Yeah, busy day.
It's been a great day, productive, knocking on doors, making phone calls, reaching out to anyone that can be a part of this historical moment. I think some great things are really happening here in Virginia, in the Commonwealth, and in specifically this 4th congressional district race.
Tell everyone what you're running for, and it's a special election.
Yes, special election, running for House of Representatives seat in District number 4, Congressional Seat 4, District 4. And the special election is February 21st, 2023. And I am Leon Benjamin, and we are running on all 8 cylinders, standing for family, standing for our children's education, parental rights, protecting our communities, lowering taxes, and lowering these gas prices and eggs that cost $8. We got to do something about what's going on. And so that's what I'm running for that seat in the U.S. House.
Yeah, I saw you were speaking at a Virginia VCDL's lobby day.
Yes. Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. This is not talking about hunting. It's talking about being able to defend yourself.
I heard you don't need 12 rounds to kill a deer.
And they also don't wear Kevlar.
They don't wear Kevlar. I mean, I don't need one of these to kill a deer.
I'm telling you, man, we got to get back to common sense thinking again. And it seems like there's a radical agenda out here to strip us of every single right that comes from God and not from government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like how you said that. Okay, it comes from God or the universe, whatever you want to believe in, but it's definitely not the government. I always say the Bill of Rights is a document of negative liberties because it puts a restriction on the government, not on the people. But
the Second Amendment is about the militia. The other 9 in the Bill of Rights are about people, but the Second Amendment is about the militia. And how, you would have to specify, governments would have to specify that their military can carry guns. That just makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. But I saw you at Lobby Day, and your speech was fiery, man. It seems like you have a lot of practice with public speaking. You want to tell people why that is?
Well, I'm a pastor. Pastor of 21 years, and I've been a speaker going around different states, just speaking around the nation, talking about God, talking about freedom of speech, and talking about Second Amendment right to bear arms, talking about, they use this term "my body, my choice" only if it means something that fits their agenda.
Yeah, it seems like they like to cherry pick stuff sometimes.
Yeah, and we've been shouting the messages on the rooftop, that it's time for America to be Americans again. Let's stop the divide between color and race and all of that nonsense. We are Americans. We might have came from different parts of the world, but God put us here in this wonderful place to be something that represents something that is modeled, or at least people admire it from other places who know that their governments may never, ever have a constitution like our Constitution. And so it's something that's worth fighting for. And as Patrick Hamilton said, give me liberty or give me death. And those guys meant it back then. I don't know what's.
Nah, it looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here. We lost Benjamin. Hopefully, he will buffer and come back in right now.
But somebody fired up the Xbox at his house.
Yeah,
I want more dangerous freedom. Bring it.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah, so do I, man. Dangerous freedom is where it's at. No, but I saw him speaking at Lobby Day, and his speech was fiery, right? And it was to the point, and it touched a lot of people. And he talked about firearms as a natural right. The right to defend yourself from tyranny and from anything really. And how they try to. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Hey. Well, I heard the word dangerous. I think our founding fathers thought that it was just about doing right. And if it looked dangerous, I think that was the last thing on their minds. They just thought about securing liberty, securing freedom that didn't come from government. And they just understood that plain as day. And the whole thing about the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia for the states. Didn't say for the federal level, it's for the states.
So hold on. The states created the federal government and wanted the federal government not to mess with our gun rights? I don't really? Is that how that works?
Oh, when I read that, I said, wait a minute. The states, it was to defend themselves. Check this out. Against tyrannical government. A well-regulated militia.
What I find interesting is that people don't realize when 1776 we fought off a bunch of frickin' farmers and hunters fought off the world superpower with muskets. That's why they put into the documents that founded this country, hey man, hands off our guns because we'll kill you. Short, sweet.
Yeah,
it wasn't to keep hunting deer. And I'm like,
look at the motto of Virginia. Six Semper Tyrannis.
I know who's got their foot on who, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, the states were afraid of an all-powerful federal government. What happened in common feudal times is groups, which became countries, wanted a king to represent them, and that always went south fast. After a couple of years of having a good king, he became a bad king. And we in the United States, or in the colonies, when we rebelled against the British, we didn't want a king, and we wanted to govern ourselves, and we want to make sure we had the ability to get rid of a tyrannical government if it ever came after us.
Well, that was the whole idea, and to have a well-regulated militia was talking about the sense that the states could defend themselves against a tyrannical government. And the thing about SDFs, the state defense forces, as of 2010, 23 states and territories maintain their own SDFs. It's unlike the federal organization, such as the National Guard. SDFs are under the jurisdiction of state or territorial governments and cannot be commanded by the federal government. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And so there's only about 20. Wait a minute, we got 50 states. I think all 50 states should have this, where the federal government can't control the militia in the states.
Correct.
This is something where, as a Navy combat veteran serving in the military, I was, sometimes you don't understand war because war is messy and nasty, and somebody got to win and somebody got to lose. There's no happy ending in war for somebody. So when America wins, that means somebody lost. When America wins to defend liberty around this world. And I am so proud. I just think back so much now, out there on the ship of the John F. Kennedy, just thinking, why am I out here? And God had to slowly get me to learn to understand, son, you're not just fighting for yourself. You're fighting for people who probably can't even fight for themselves, who can't even defend themselves. Now, to bring this back on domestic territory, my eyes are wide open, my friends. My eyes are wide open. What is happening over in third world countries is now coming right on our backyard, right inside of our own fence. That is scary, that someone can just land right in your backyard and just take your house. That's a scary thought. But that's what's happening right now. You saw the balloon, right? Do you see the balloon?
The balloons.
Number 4
of them now.
Woo.
Yeah,
that's a scary thought, to think that we're being surveilled, and who knows what type of information was sent back to China.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. But yeah, I agree with your name. I think it's more aliens than China. Joking about that. So let me ask you this question. Joe Biden says our economy is the strongest economy ever. And it is so healthy and it's doing so well. What do you have to say in response to that? Because that's not the feeling I get when I talk to people.
We are, I mean, everyone's saying 8%, 7%, as far as our economy with the inflation, but
inflation is what you're talking about.
Yeah, inflation. People are feeling more like 38%. It might even be higher than that. And when he took the office, it was somewhere around what, 2%?
Yeah,
I mean,
it was under 2% with Trump. It was like 1.45 depending on the year.
I mean, come on. And they're saying it's the strongest gas. The average gas was somewhere around what, $2.20. Now it's going higher and higher, $4 in some places, $5.
Yep.
I mean, and it's going up because we've been digging into our reserves. No telling what could happen now. I mean, I mean, what's going on right now is just ridiculous. And the foreign people are looking at us as so weak. They're just laughing at us and Ronald Reagan said it best, as far as the need for military is peace through strength. Not peace through weakness.
Yeah, one of the things that I notice is when the grocery bills are high.
Oh man!
And when Jen Raggedy Ann was the press secretary, she stated it was around Thanksgiving. People were talking about like turkey prices. And she said something very, very insensitive when they said, well, she's like, well, you might have to pay a couple extra dollars for turkey. It's not a big deal. But, a couple extra dollars for turkey, a couple extra dollars for eggs, a couple extra dollars for that. And that all adds up. And that comment just made it seem like she was out of touch. Do you think the Democrats and the Biden administration are out of touch with the American people?
Absolutely. I mean, people are hurting right now. Talk to my wife. She was like, this is ridiculous. I mean, if you're a middle income person, could you imagine someone who is living from paycheck to paycheck, robbing Peter to pay Paul?
Been there.
And what's going on right now? This is not good for America. And for them to kind of brush it off, I mean, they have walls around their house. They have borders. They have security.
Oh, for sure.
Around their homes. What about our communities? And so when a person is hungry, guess what the Bible says? He'll even rob his neighbor just to eat. He'll steal when he's hungry. Okay. And I think it's all planned by design to create a massive hysteria with the food drought, the fruit. I mean, chicken plants being blown up. I mean,
so I try not to believe it's a conspiracy, but I'm like, the data just doesn't bear that out. I'm skeptical of it, but it's just highly unusual.
When I started seeing the chicken plants get blown up, I was like, wait a minute. And one of my a person right here in Virginia said that her chickens have not been laying eggs for almost a year.
Yeah, so the feed that they're getting seems to be the issue.
Yeah, so they had to go back to organic feeding and not getting the regular feeding from the stores. I mean, this is, I know it sounds like, a bunch of tinfoil hat peoples, nothing to see here, move on. But it's so much that have been planned. It's like they're following this book called Rules for Radicals, right out to Saul Alinsky book. Everything. I mean, if I keep telling you you're crazy, and I do it every day on social media and mainstream medias, after a while, people start saying, you know what? maybe he's crazy. I mean, this is one of the rules in the book. Rules for radical. Keep labeling your opponent something until people start to believe it.
Yeah, people need to really read that book. I mean, I don't like Saul Alinsky or anything, but it's the playbook of the
He
left.
dedicated the book to the devil.
Yeah, it's the playbook of the it's the playbook of the left. And if you want to find out what they're doing, you look at the playbook of the left.
For sure.
And you know, you have to look at art of war, know your enemy and know they fell. You have to know what their movement is, what their plan is, and how they think. And reading that book is a good way of knowing how they think. All right.
I think it was Rush Limbaugh that was saying, was it his commentary on Joe Biden or Barack Obama? I don't remember, but if they were actually working to ruin our economy, would they do any better than they are now? Like it's amazing to me the stumbling blocks that they throw in front of our business, of our economy, of our energy production, to make it fail, as opposed to opening it up. Like I mean, the joke was Biden approved Nord Stream 2, what he didn't. What was the pipeline in the U.S. they shut down?
Yeah, the Keystone. I want to get to education. What is your stance on education? Like, I know that's a big plan, especially in Virginia. We have a lot of education stuff, and I know that that's very important to you.
Yeah, it's very important, and you know, and I'm asking for people. I know it's 8 days out, but it's still time for people to get on board. Our team, you know, go to our website, donate, Benjamin4 Congress.com, and see where we stand on education. I call it the money follows the child, where ESAs, educational savings accounts, and people sometimes call it credits or scholarships that can be given to the child, regardless of zip code, regardless of where they live. If they wanted to, let's say they want to go to another public school. I mean, some argue the fact, oh, you're trying to shut down the public schools. No, we're creating competition again. This is what has happened in our educational system. You know what happens if somebody does it better? Does it drive prices up or drive it down? Normally, if somebody can do it better, it drives the price down.
Right.
Well, in our educational system, I mean,
in the U.S., we're outspending like the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 countries combined in education, and we're like 20 out of nations in the world.
Yeah. Do you think that they are against like school choice and all this stuff because they don't want to lose control of the indoctrination of the children?
I think you hit it right on the head. Again, I'm not sounding like a conspiracy theorist, but the agenda to radicalize our children and to normalize insanity, it's right up here with oxygen. Okay, it's what's going on. To be able to radicalize kids who don't want to read or write or do math. You know what you could do with a bunch of kids like that that can't read, can't write, can't comprehend? You can just tell them anything, and they're gone like sheeple.
Yeah, you know, we're both in Virginia, and you look up in like Loudoun County and Fairfax County, which are very, very blue areas. But yet the parents of these school kids, whether the Democrats or Republicans, are rebelling against that because they want the best for their kids, and they're starting to be red pilled, I guess you can say, and talking about it. Like, for example, there's a magnet school called Thomas Jefferson, which is like where like the brightest kids go, and it's like very, very competitive to get in. And they wanted to make that get rid of any type of competition to get in and do it all via like a lottery. So I do think it's planned. I agree with you 100%. 100%. I want to get back to economy for a second. The interest rates are incredibly high, and it's almost impossible for anyone to buy a house right now because the interest rates are so high. Yet,
Well, and home values are high too.
yeah, and yet they are trying to say that we're the ones on the right that are against home ownership, but they're making it almost impossible to own a home because of interest rates. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, it's all planned by design to create a community of people who don't fulfill the Constitution, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which really equated to the ownership of property.
Yeah, John Locke said life, liberty, and
So they're going after the real deal. What is real? Real estate. That's the only estate that's real. And our founding fathers promoted real estate, property ownership. And
well, they were against the taxation of your property also.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it all follows with eminent domain, all these things, air, land, earth, man has dominion. I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but God gave man dominion over the air, the water, and the land. I mean, he gave them dominion to say, no, you rule over that. So it wasn't about people. It wasn't about ruling over people. It was about having dominion over the air, the water, the earth. And this radical playbook that they're using is to take away that type of rule, that type of dominion through these policies. And that's one of the reasons why I'm running for Congress. Could you imagine being in the chambers talking about, we want everyone to start renting from now on, and being privy to that conversation that no one owns anymore, but everyone rents.
You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like a word that starts with a C.
Yep.
Communism?
Communism.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's slavery, because look, 50% of our income is going to some form of tax, which is nuts.
Yeah. 28EDU with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. 28EDU is up in Michigan. He's very, very politically involved up in Michigan. Rich, you want to read it?
Sure. The plan for gun control in Michigan and who is behind it was revealed today. I'm working on a video now. I'm going to the Michigan Capitol this Wednesday to talk to reps and senators in person.
Yeah.
So heck yeah, buddy.
Do you think more people should get involved with contacting reps, senators, and like elected officials?
It should have been something that's taught our kids in school day one. I mean, we have lobby day, but it should be every day that they're in office. I heard that Congressman Kevin McCarthy said it's now being called the People's House again. Well, what does that mean? Not just a place to go take pictures, get some photos. The people can actually come in and talk to their representatives. And this crazy thing about we're all scared because they're going to get us. I mean, I saw the barricades around the Congress, the fences.
Yeah.
These are the same people that didn't believe in borders.
Yeah, or fences. Yeah,
they put it right on wall up in between them and the people.
Yeah,
it just makes me laugh. It does. It's like, we don't.
We got to get back to teaching again that when I'm in office, I am not the boss. I am the servant. The people, we the people are the boss. We serve the people. But some kind of way it's been switched around here lately, where these elites are saying, oh, the people don't know what they need. We'll tell them what they need.
Yeah, they're called representatives, not leaders, I guess you could say.
Potentates.
Yeah. Yeah, they're supposed to do the will of the people, and serve the people, not the other way around. And
I love where there's a saying that all congressmen and senators should wear like suits, like a NASCAR
drivers.
driver. Yeah, so you can see who's sponsoring them.
That's good.
I say this is my phrase, and you're welcome to steal it. I think all politicians should have lie detecting shock collars, so when they're lying, you see them twitch.
They would all die in the first day.
That's good. That's good. I mean, it reminds me of the movie. I know it's maybe off a little bit, but when Thor was put that little thing on his neck, whenever he wanted to exercise his power, they pressed that button and he got visible. You know?
Oh yeah. Ragnarok, good movie.
Yeah, but it's amazing where like my opponent doesn't even want to debate me. We're 8 days out. They've avoided debates.
I wouldn't want to debate you.
Hiding. You know what's going on here, and
that's like Fetterman. They hid his. I don't want to say it. They hid him.
Yeah,
they didn't want him speaking in public.
So how are the polls looking?
Right now, there's a groundswell of grassroots support that we're seeing that is coming in now. People are awakening, and this, you know, I'm just using this as a way of understanding geographically, demographically. We're in a Democrat stronghold. We're in a place where it's heavily Democrats, but the people are awakening to the fact that we can't do this thing the same way over and over again, expecting a different result. So we've been taking some insanity. We've been taking some in-house polling, and we're seeing now that that people now are waking up, and they may not come right out and say it, but we've been doing some what we call micro targeting certain areas geographically through our campaign. And the consensus coming back is people, number one thing, education.
Okay. Education is huge here in Virginia.
Education, number one. And my opponent was the same one that was for legislation that would have hidden that young boy who posed as a transgender who raped that girl in the school up in Northern
Virginia. Girls, right?
Twice. Yeah. My
Twice.
opponent stood for stuff like that. And the polling coming back about life. Well, my opponent stands for not just abortion all the way up to the term, but how about 7 days after?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And that's something that in my area, no. People don't want to kill their babies. No. But they portray as if that is the option on the table, and they call it reproductive reproductive rights. And this is something that is not really the norm in my community.
I don't think that. I mean, some of the stuff that they pitched it's just crazy. And in Virginia, I think people are waking up. And I think there's a good chance that people are going to be waking up all around the country. And in Virginia, what woke a lot of people up was a few years ago gun rights, and then after that, they started waking up and they started looking at education. They started waking up
the school boards,
education. Like CRT. They're like, oh, there's no such thing as CRT. But here's how you teach it if you were to teach this thing that didn't exist. Which I always thought was kind of funny.
Well, they did that in Florida with, what was it, the Sunshine Standard or whatever? There was a curriculum.
Yeah, they just take it and
they rebrand it.
They take it and they just rebrand it. And it's the same thing.
Yeah, I will fight against that. I've openly said that. And we have to replace it again with true history, not just Black history. This is Black History Month, but American history. We have to go back and teaching the good, the bad, and the ugly. Slavery did exist, but guess who freed the slaves? Let's talk about, I've seen somewhere where they tried to make Abraham Lincoln a Democrat.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. The DNC has, a picture of him on the wall there in DC.
Yeah.
I mean,
what they said is the Democrat Party and the Republican Party switched places during the
like halftime at football, right?
And then when all these Democratic governors started pushing like these like evil segregation stuff, they said, "Oh, they switched back," and then they switched again.
No, what a great fantasy!
Doesn't make any sense.
No,
it really doesn't make any sense.
The real issue about our history is that they've tried to tear down the statues. That's in the Saul Alinsky's book, Rules for Radicals, to begin to disrupt the timeline, his history of the people, and actually erase their history and begin to put in their own record of history. And so it wasn't just a statue per se, but it was just a taking down of what we knew to be true, what happened. And the changing of the schools, changing of military bases.
Yeah, renaming.
And then to put up the division, which is my opponent is very divisive, very deceptive, very destructive, to divide us because of color. I mean, come on. I got a friend of mine, and he says he's from his family is mainly from Iceland. He says you don't get no whiter than that. Okay. but he says I'm more blacker than some of these black people. because we tend to say racism is about a color, but it's about a mentality. And this thing where no matter what color you are, if you hate another person so bad to demise them and destroy them and to annihilate them and to genocide them, then that's not just a color, that's a mentality that is spiritually demonic. And I'm seeing that in my community. I mean, Planned Parenthood is in most of the time the black community.
Well, Margaret Singer, the founder of Planned Parenthood, was a racist who believed in Nazi eugenics.
Yes.
But they don't like to talk about that.
Yeah,
I've had black pastors, though. They went to some of the black pastors to calm the people down to say, this is good for you. And I'm like, really?
Yeah,
they would never get away with that in my church.
Well, Margaret Singer wanted to shrink the black population.
That was the whole goal.
And this isn't a conspiracy theory.
And she's highly successful.
She came out and said that.
I mean, isn't it in a book? Did she write a book on this? I forget where all the information is. She was at the Klan Bake. She spoke to KKK groups. Just crazy things.
And they still name buildings after her.
If the truth of all of this was out, they would be burning down abortion clinics because it's horrific what that's done to the black community. Basically, the most dangerous place for a black person is in the womb because you got a 50% chance of not making it. That's horrific. That's a sin.
How do we reverse all that? How do we reverse this? Not only education, not only what's going on in inner cities, not what's going on with the economy. How do we reverse that? And how are you planning to reverse that?
One word: Jesus.
Amen.
And that word means Yeshua, of course, in the Hebrew. Joshua in the Greek, it means God who saves. And it's going to take people returning back to God and saying, wait a minute, that's my brother, that's my sister. Am I my brother's keeper? And a nation, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. And this whole nation was built upon Christian Judeo principles.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about Karl Marx and communism, one of their main strategies in communism, Karl Marx, is to take God out of the nation, to erase God and bringing a new morality and put it in place.
They want to replace God with the state.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the answer. And then from that matriculates, of course, principles that can work anywhere. If it can work in America, it can work in Africa. If it can work in America, it can work in Europe. It can work. These are not principles just solely just for us.
Right.
It's for all people. And you don't get more equality than that. I mean, it's our founding fathers said self-evident that these truths that all men are created equal, and that comes from an understanding from our Creator and God's laws and nature's God. I mean, this thing is coming back full circle, and if we don't get people thinking more about wanting to be a nation under God, I think it was what Roosevelt who put that on the dollar, right? I mean, one nation under God, that should have been back in the 1700s, But our founding fathers put the seed there, right? They just planted the seed. It was up to us, as Benjamin Franklin said, a republic if we can keep it.
Yes.
Yeah, there's one more thing I wanted to ask you about. I'm a gun owner. So apparently I have a good chance of being a militia violent extremist.
Oh, and a Catholic.
And I'm also a Catholic, which the FBI, which they walked back since the documents were revealed. Not like they would have walked it back if the documents weren't revealed. But they're saying that Catholics could be violent extremists. I go to mass every weekend, and violent extremism is not what is. There was never a homily.
Do you know what they're saying in Latin? I mean, it's the Latin masses that you got to watch out for.
I guess it must be the Latin masses, but violent extremism, violence never comes up, and if it does come up, it is talking against violence and for peace and stuff like that. Why do you think the FBI determined that Catholics have a chance of being violent extremists?
Well, it's something amazing what's happening, that our political system has been weaponized against the American people. And because of the leadership that's in charge right now, it's been weaponized. But our founding fathers never saw weaponizing the FBI against its own people.
Right.
And now almost anything, hate speech, you can't hardly say anything. And now to turn that against the Catholic Church, wait a minute. The Bible clearly says that God hates murder. He hates it. God hates a brother who goes and spreads division. This is in Proverbs, where all the things that God he hates, and the seventh is an abomination. These things he hates. One who tells lies, what we call a talebearer, a false witness.
Yeah, I do want to answer.
These things that God hates, the Catholic Church teaches to hate those things that God hates and to love those things that God loves.
I do want to answer the Raven. The Bible doesn't say anything about the separation of church and state. That was a Supreme Court Justice, Hugo Black, who was worried about Catholics getting too much power. He had this conspiracy theory that Catholics were going to take over the country. So Hugo Black wrote in a Supreme Court decision, separation of church and state. you cannot find one original document where it talks about separation of church and state.
Yeah, what the only thing there's no such thing as separation of church and state. What there is there can't be a state-sponsored religion.
Yes,
That's
that
the
there.
facts.
But yeah, but
True.
yeah, he was worried about Catholics taking over. That's a huge misconception. All right, tell everyone where they can help you.
8 days out, they can go to our website. They can join our team, join Team Benjamin. They can volunteer if they're in Virginia, in our 4th district, or they can drive within 2 hours. I have actually Kimberly Classic coming down Saturday. Ran for Congress in Baltimore.
Yeah, she's a great person.
But's coming down to knock doors with us all day from 10 to 4, and then she's going to do a rally for me on Saturday from 6 to 9. I mean, who does that? Joe Collins is flying in. You know, Joe Collins ran against Maxine Waters in California.
Oh my God,
Mad Max.
He's
flying in Saturday as well, along with Rich Anderson, Virginia GOP leader, Patty Lyman, and many other great speakers, Chuck Smith. And come on, let's rally together. Let's get out the vote. And if they're not in my area, they can contribute, they can give. I thank God for you all. Thank you so much, John. This is, oh God, this is America. I feel like screaming. I feel like shouting. I mean, this is America. This is what it's all about. What you guys are doing right now, this is what it's all about.
Yeah, I do want to put out there that there's a guy on Facebook that does not like you. He's claiming to be conservative, but if you look into his past, you'll find out that he's like ran as a Democrat or something before.
Wow,
so,
unbelievable.
So just putting it so there, I think it's dirty tricks.
It's some stuff. I mean, with 8 days ago, I'm believing, and what you all are doing, and many other patriots standing up for what's right, not being afraid. I mean, you guys are sticking your necks out. I mean, not being afraid to tell it like it is, to tell the truth. So these last 8 days, they can go to Benjamin, the number 4, Congress.com. They can, of course, donate any amount because we're putting out mailers. In these 8 days, we'll be putting out thousands of mailers, thousands of digital ads. I'll be on the radio. I'm going to be on the Spanish radio, the Latino Hispanic radio. Woo! I'm going to be on the urban radio, the gospel radio. I'm going to be everywhere just saying, wake up, wake up, wake up. I just got endorsed by Dr. Ben Carson. Had a chance to talk to him on the phone.
Oh, I met him one time and he was amazing.
Oh, God. Dr. Carol Swain says is endorsing me. Congressman Bob Good is endorsing our campaign. Glenn Youngkin, Governor Glenn Youngkin.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the phone with him yesterday. He called me on Sunday yesterday to just say, "Hey, Leon, I've been trying to call and apologize to everybody. You know, I'm trying to catch up." And you know, we talked for a while. I said, "Who's going to win the Super Bowl?" He didn't want to tell me. You know? But you know, Governor Youngkin, Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears, AG Mayeres, we're doing a fundraiser Wednesday with him. People are coming out the woodwork, man. And so that's how they can help. And let's go to the finish line. Last day to vote early is February 18th. And then voting on election day, February the 21st, Tuesday. So Monday is President's Day and Tuesday is We the People's Day for the 4th Congressional District. We're going to take back that district for we people. Thanks to your help. Thanks to what you have done for me today. It's a part of it.
There's one more question that we want to get to. Since we're a very, very pro-gun show, we're like as pro-gun as you can get. There's no way you can get more pro-gun than us. We're like up against the wall of pro-gun. One of the people asked, what is your opinion of the ATF?
Well, you know, tobacco, I mean, they're mixing it all together. It should not even exist. Okay.
I think that's correct answer.
Okay. But anyway, they've weaponized all of these agencies that are now become so useless to the American people, and we just need to get rid of them.
All right, that works. Thank you so much. Go to benjaminforcongress.com. It's been great having you on the show. I've told Rich all about you. I was like, man, I was so moved by his speech.
Thank you, Rich.
I was moved by his speech, and I definitely wanted to have you on and help you out any way that I can, because you have a good shot of winning, and we need that district. And you are a friend to gun owners, and a friend to Americans, and a friend to people that value liberty. Somebody said to me once, "You're a single issue voter." I said, "Absolutely, I'm a single issue voter. And my issue is liberty." I was like, "That's my single issue, is liberty." So
I love it.
And you have, if I lived in that district, you would have that vote. But I am trying to help in other ways.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. All right, guys. We'll be back
for having me.
No problem. We'll be back tomorrow and Wednesday, but we will not be here on Thursday because I am taking the day off to go out to eat for my birthday. Because Thursday.
Happy birthday, John.
Thank you. I'm getting freaking old. Oh my goodness.
Better than the alternative.
Yes. What, getting younger? I'm gonna master CRISPR and turn myself younger.
All right.
Hey man, it's gonna be possible. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been great talking to you. We have a great audience. We have a great community, and I just want to let everyone out there know that you matter to me. And with that, I guess we are gone. Thank you so much for our guests. You can follow Flying Rich at Flying Rich. From there, you have Flying Rich Firearms. You have Flying Rich _official on Instagram. And he is starting to use AI to do stuff, which I told him to do. Rich and I are both into AI stuff a lot. But thank you guys so much, and we'll see you tomorrow. Who's our guest tomorrow? Watch this.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
I don't even know who our guest is most of the time until I show up.
Thank y'all so much.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks for